Hello everyone, welcome to a new video about the Sigma 500mm lens. We're going to be looking at a colour test chart this time. I just want to give you a quick look-see. It's up to you to make your mind up. I'm not going to make any sort of judgment and force that judgment on you guys, because it's up to you to make your own mind up. But first of all, let's just get hold of the lens so you can see it in the webcam. So, this is a 500mm Sigma Prime lens, right? Came out in 2005. It's an apertured F4.5 APO EX DG hypersonic motored lens, or HSM for short. It has a limiter on there, which is full, 8 meters to infinity and 4 to 8 meters. So you've got 3 modes of the focus limiter there. You've got a autofocus and manual focus switch. You can turn it on and off. You have a 46mm drop-in filter holder there, so you can put in polarizers and ND filters if you need to. The tripod mount is adjustable, so it can move and rotate, but it has no clicking, so it doesn't tell you specifically when you're vertical or horizontal, when you're level. So there's a bit of a downside. Newer lenses have a click on there to tell you, an audible click to tell you when you're actually in the right position. The tripod mount I like. It's got grooves, it's contoured, as you can see. Hopefully you can see that in the video. And lots of various holes for attaching to the tripod. The hood, the lens hood, sorry, is nice and sturdy, has rubber around it, and it's nice and made out of metals, and it's heavy. It's 3 kilogram with a camera. It's about 3.5 kilogram. Forgive me for holding it for much longer because it's getting heavy on my arms. The only negative thing I'd say about the lens hood collar is I would have liked it to be a bit longer. It's only probably about 3 inches long, so it's not that long, which is the downside about that. I would prefer it to be a lot longer. Anyway, let's put this down because it's getting heavy. So what I want to do in this video is just show you how it reproduces colour. So we've got 4 apertures, as we have had in the previous video regarding the sharpness test. Check that video out please if you want to check the sharpness of this lens out. So we've got F4.5, 5.6, F8, F16. And we're going to be checking the results on the 90D as well. This is the EOS R mirrorless camera, full frame. It renders images at 30 megapixels, and we're using JPEG images at the moment. I'm not using RAW because I need to update my software to be able to use the new RAW files. But for the time being, we're going to check out the image quality here and look at the colours. So really, I just want you to have a good look and make your own mind up whether you think the colours are good. So F4.5, I just want to really show you the colour swatches really, in terms of the quality. So personally, looking at it at F4.5, it does seem a bit dull, less sharp. We can zoom into the fruit here. You know, obviously, basically it's a printout test charts that we've got here, and I'll probably show you the lens sharpness test card next time. I'll do that tomorrow, I think. But at the moment, I just want to show the colours. So that's F4.5. Make your mind up if you like that or not. But for me, it's not as crisp as it could be. So let's look at F5.6. Already, I don't know if it's me, but the settings were the same at ISO 2500, and the shutter speed ranged from 80th of a second with the 10-second timer. So I avoided camera shake, so there should be no camera shake. But looking at the results, it looks pretty good at F5.6. Not impressed with F4.5, but 5.6 looks okay. I just want to, give you a bit of a closer look. It's up to you to make your mind up whether you think it's a nice reflection of colours, because colours can be subjective. Some people like it more redder, some people like it colder. I know the Sony cameras, for example, that are colder. Canon are known for being more warmer with their colours. But obviously we're talking about using a Sigma lens, so it's likely it will have a slight bearing on the colours. So obviously that's f5.6. If you want to have a look at the colours, please go back and just freeze the video and look at it to compare. So like I said, it's the EOS R with the adapter on there. So f8, again, it's pretty much subjective. You know, the colours look vibrant to me and look quite nice. We just zoom in there a little bit for you to have a look at the colours of the fruits here. It's up to you, make your mind up, but it looks pleasing to the eye. Don't see any issues there with the reproduction of the colours. So let's just have a look at f16. Again, very similar. Looks nice in terms of how it's reproducing the colours. We can just come down here to the colour swatch there and have a look, and freeze the video if you want to check the examples yourself and just look at the colours. So let's just zoom into the fruit there. Let's have a look. Again, I don't see much difference there versus 5.6, f8, f16. Looks all fine, all good to me. So you know, make your own mind up. So let's get on to checking the 90D. Let's see the results from that camera, and then we'll try and do a side-by-side comparison. Okay, here we have the 90D samples of the colour chart. I thought I'd just show you the lens again. So again, it's a Sigma 500mm f4.5 DG HSM super telephoto lens. It's nice and sharp. It has a massive front element. It is heavy, and it does have an adjustable tripod collar as well as a lens hood, which is secured by a nice tightening nut there. And it's heavy at probably 3 kilograms for the actual lens itself. And then if you stick a camera on, I suspect if you sticked something like a 1DX body on there, you're probably talking 4 kilograms to carry around, and it's a hefty weight. So let's just get to the video. I want to check out, you know, the results from the 90D. As I've said, I wasn't greatly impressed with the lens sharpness test that I did. You know, I did a video yesterday. Please check it out if you haven't seen it already. So looking at the f4.5, I'm looking at the text and to be honest with you, it doesn't look very promising at f4.5. Just look at that. And I'm going to go into this lens stroke camera text here. I appreciate the ISO is 2500, so it's not going to be as clean as say the EOS R full frame camera, because the 90D is a crop sensor camera. It's APS-C. You times your focal length by 1.6. Effective focal length on this is 800mm, not 500mm. So it's magnifying the center of the lens, the sharpest part of the lens, but it's not doing a great job at f4.5, if I'm honest with you. And to be honest, I think the colours are quite dull at f4.5 as well. But it just looks too soft at f4.5 on the APS-C. I just don't like it at all. But this isn't about sharpness, this video, it's about colour. So let's just have a quick look at the colour. I'm not going to talk about it in too much depth because it's up to you to make your own mind up. Have a look, see if you like it or not. When I look at the board here, it just doesn't seem vibrant. It just doesn't seem bright enough. Now, I don't believe it's something to do with the exposure. I just don't think it reproduces the colours properly at f4.5. So let's have a look at f5.6 after I've zoomed in a little bit. I do like to zoom in into the bananas so you can have a bit of a look at the banana and make your own mind up. If you think the quality is there, it's up to you to make your mind up, I think. Let's have a look at 5.6. Looking at the test chart at 5.6, it seems better, and even looking at the lens, camera, text here, it's slightly better, but not by much. You know, colour wise, it's a bit better, to be honest with you. But again, it's up to you to make your mind up. So let's have a look at F8. Looking at the text, it seems better. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to 5.6 and go in there. Maybe this would be a better test. Let's go up to 100%. I'm not going to focus too much on sharpness, but I do want you to see this. This should give you an idea. Right, so F4.5. We're going to focus on the lens, strut, camera, text that's in bold here. So looking at that at 100%, it doesn't look very great. Now, I appreciate there's a lot of grey in there because ISO 2500. But let's have a look at 5.6. Looks slightly better. And then F8. Slightly better again, but it doesn't quite look sharp enough to me. But again, let's go back to the banana so you can have a close look at F8. What do you make your mind up whether you think that, do you like the colours? So let's go to F16, have a look at that. F16, I must admit that at 2500 ISO it isn't giving a great result, in my opinion. I just think it's a bit not quite there, you know. Colour wise, it seems reasonable. You know, Canon does tend to err on the reds more than the blues. As I've said before, you know, Sony colours look very cold, Canon colours look very warm. But let's just zoom into the banana so you guys can have another look at the fruit. Make your own mind up there. So it's up to you. Make your mind up on the 90D results. At 32 megapixels, these are JPEG images. So let's jump to a side-by-side comparison. So we can have a look at the EOS R full frame versus the 90D. I think this will be a good comparison to see the differences between ISO 2500 on full frame and ISO 2500 on APS-C crop sensor. So let's jump to that and have a look at that. So we're going to do side-by-side comparison here. We've got the EOS R at F4.5 ISO 2500 and we've got the 90D at F4.5 as well. So let's first just crack on with the example we've got here. So now I do want to compare sharpness. So full frame, just briefly, you check the sharpness test I'd done the other day, please. But this may be a fair comparison. As I've said previously in that video, where I've said that the full frame seems to work better than the APS-C, because I think the APS-C is more challenging on this particular lens. I don't think the optics are super sharp, and I don't think it was designed in mind to have APS-C cameras on. So, but first things first is looking at the full frame. This is the EOS R image. Again, I don't think it's reproducing a good result of the colours. I just think something's off at F4.5. It doesn't seem crisp, doesn't seem vibrant to me. Canon colours should be vibrant. Looking at that, I just don't like it. So let's have a look at the 90D at the same aperture, F4.5. It's pretty much the same colour wise. It just looks, I don't know how to say it really. It looks, you know, unsharp. It just doesn't look sharp. When you look at even the text doesn't look great. But I just want to give you a close-up of the colours really, so you can make your own mind up. So let's just zoom in. So that's the EOS R full frame. That's your colours. And then we just go back to the 90D here, and that's your colours there and how it represents. Up to you, make your mind up regarding colours. This is about colours, not really sharpness, but I will address the sharpness a little bit in this video as well. So let's just move on to F8 on the EOS R. Now looking at the EOS R, it's reproducing the colours vibrantly. I really like it. I'm just going to get the test chart out here and have a quick look and try and compare it. I think it's doing a good job at F8 reproducing the colours to the test chart. I like it. So let's just zoom in and have a look at the test, the colours here regarding this fruit. It looks pretty good at F8, and this is the EOS R, and sharpness seems pretty good as well, but I'm going to come back to the sharpness in a minute. I just want to look at colours. Please feel free to freeze the video at any point and have a close look at the colours. You can, if you're watching this on YouTube in a small screen mode, you can always click the small box at the bottom that will enlarge the screen at HD quality, and you'll be able to see colours and sharpness in better detail. Just remember that. Anyway, let's just have a look at the 90D, see how that's reproducing at F8. Colour wise, it looks like it's reproducing the colours fairly, but I don't know, sharpness doesn't seem there. The crispness of Canon colours ain't coming to me here, and I just think that APS-C is very, very challenging on this particular camera, and this camera lens. Sorry, I would recommend that you don't think about cropping on this particular lens. I just think the sharpness isn't quite there, but let's address sharpness. And we'll come back to that. Well, anyway, at F8, let's just zoom into the APS-C. So that's APS-C. That's full frame at F8. So you make your mind up. Which do you prefer? I prefer the full frame, if I'm honest with you. So there is some truth out there in regards to that full frame is better for giving you better results. And if you're doing portraiture photography, I think I would advise you to go towards a full frame camera rather than an APS-C camera. But if you're going for sport and fast action and you need the capability of APS-C, the 1.6 crop, to magnify your lens, it can get you closer. But just remember that it also magnifies the imperfections in your lens as well. Anyway, let's have a look at the sharpness here, because I said I addressed that, didn't I? So F4.5, I want to zoom into the text of this lens camera here, and we're going to go all the way up to 200% because I want you to see this. So this is full frame EOS R, 30 megapixel camera, and let's have a look at the same thing with the 90D, because I want to highlight the quality, and I want to show you the difference between full frame and APS-C, and this will be a general thing. You'll get a good indication from this why people want full frame over APS-C. Don't get me wrong, I like using APS-C. I've never had a problem with using APS-C. I just feel that it's too challenging for this lens. And don't forget, it is a 2005 lens. We're talking 15 years old lens. More modern lenses are geared towards better quality and are capable of giving you better results. So full frame looks reasonably good, reasonably sharp. Even F4.5 isn't fantastic, obviously, as an aperture. You always need to stop it down. Doesn't look too great on sharpness there, but it's not too bad on full frame. We try and do that on the APS-C. My god, it looks terrible, and I don't think it's handling the light very well as well. So I'll look at F8 because that'll give us a better idea on the quality that the camera can produce. So it's got a 200%. I don't tend to like to go too much into pixel peeping like we're doing here, but this will give you, I suppose, a better representation on sharpness. Right, look at the 90D. Let's go and zoom in there. 200%. I know it's extreme, but it's giving us a fair result. And just so you know, I try to position both cameras at different places to give you a similar perspective, because one is 800mm, one is 500mm. So just keep that in mind. But okay, EOS R at f8 looks reasonable. It's not pin sharp, but it's reasonable. We look at APS-C, and you can see a lot of noise in there as well at 2500 ISO. It doesn't look sharp at all. Even at f8 it's not great. So it's up to you to make your mind up whether you think this lens is good on APS-C. I just wanted to give you a representation on colours so you get an idea of what the lens can produce in colours. So let's just zoom back out before we end this. Just want to give you an idea of colours. So that's the EOS R, and this is the 90D at f8. So EOS R seems to represent the colours fairly and accurately and looks not bad. The 90D just feels grainy at 2500 ISO. Might be a good idea to test them at a lower ISO rating and see, but I think it gives you a rough idea of the quality of the lens. I just don't think this lens is great on APS-C. It's not bad on full frame, obviously. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this is a good lens to have, or is it too old and literally can't cope with the modern day cameras? Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. I will do another one on lens sharpness tomorrow, but hope to see you in another video. Thank you.